Now, in this third and last video, we are going to use a decision tree model to predict the likelihood of people purchasing a bike. Now, from the mining accuracy, which we saw previously, we found out that decision tree was the best of the three, and we have decided to use this to predict the likelihood of people purchasing a bike. To do that, we click the mining model prediction, which is on top on the right tab, and here we have two tables. One is mining model, the second one is select input table. Now, to give an example to make us understand better, take the mining model as the model of the structure of students who are currently taking data mining subject as an option course. So it is given on the left, for example. And here on the right, we are going to select, for example, the table which contains the first year or second year students who have not yet selected data mining as the subject as an option. So the idea is to determine based on the current students who are actually, for example, doing data mining as an option, then how can we predict the probability of second year and first year students to choose data mining as an option in the future? Okay, but in this case, we have people who have already purchased a bike previously, and we want to subject this into the people who have not yet purchased the bike, but we want to see how many are likely how many will be likely to purchase the bike in the future. So on the left, in the select model, we will select decision tree from the BIT mining structure. The reason is known. So decision tree is selected, and we say OK. Now from there, I will select the table which contains people who have not yet purchased a bike, and this is prospective buyer table which we chose previously. So after clicking OK, you'll find out that we have several lines mapping the attributes from a mining model have been mapped to the attributes on the input table. Now, if I right click the line and I say modify connection, you'll find that we have, for example, gender on the mining model mapped to the prospective buyer gender. Okay, or house owner flag is mapped to the prospective buyer house owner flag. But we have bike buyer here, which is empty, and we would like to know. So in this case, we will select prospective buyer here is unknown. So we don't know yet if these people will buy or not buy. So we put that as unknown. Now from there, we will find that we still have age which is empty. There's no corresponding age here, so we will have to find a way to calculate age. Now we know that if we scroll on the input table here, we don't have age, but we do have birth date. Okay, so what we have to do is we have to calculate age based on the birth date. Now to do that, first we'll have to modify our data source view. Okay, at the moment you see that we have unknown, which is the prospective buyer, we don't know. And we are going to right click this table and create a new named calculation. New named calculation. Now in this we are going to say calculate age. Okay, in the description we are going to say andika umri kulingana na tarehe kuzaliwa. Okay, and in the expression I'm going to copy and paste here. Okay, I'm going to copy this. I'm too lazy to type. I'm going to paste it there. It's the date difference. Actually, we only need a year. Birth date, the difference between birth date and the get date of today. So when you say OK, the new attribute will appear here, which is calculate age. Now, after this, we have to save. It's very important to save, otherwise the changes which we have included here will not appear. And then we'll go back to mining structure and we'll try to see if calculate age is included. And I think not. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to close this. Okay, and I'm going to open it again. I'm trying to get the age to appear, and I'm going to start all over again. Okay, select model, and select decision tree. Okay, and again select case table, select prospective buyer, and I hope this time age is there. So I'm going to modify connection, and bike buyer, we know that we don't know that one, so prospective buyer unknown, and now we know that age equals to the new column which we have created, which is called calculate age. Okay, so from there say okay. Now we have mapped the mining model structure to the input table structure. It is important to save our work. Now, after mapping, the next stage is to define the prediction query. On top left, we have design and query, and again I'll go to design, and I'll click source down here, and I'll select TM decision tree. Okay. Now, the TM decision tree, what I want to have is equal to 1. Okay. The second part, I want to have a prediction function, and I want here to predict probability of how correct this is. Okay, and here I want to predict the probability of bike buyer. Okay, actually let's delete this. Can you delete this? Remove? No. Delete this part. Okay, and then put this down here. Okay, second part is this decision tree. Bike buyer equals 1. Okay, just hang on. When we finish this part, then you'll see how these are being used. Okay, then we have a predictive buyer table. We have a key. Okay, it is important to have a key. Okay, and this key will uniquely determine the rows in the input table. Okay, now afterwards, after having the key, okay, we have to add more columns. Okay, let me do this first. Okay, I'm going to change here Okay, I want to know the age. So the attribute which you created, I want to know that. I want to know the first name. I want to know the last name of people who are likely to buy. I want to know their address. Address line 1, and also I want to know their address number 2. Where is address number 2? Address line 2. Oh, no. Sorry. Address line number 2. Okay. Again, I will save. Now, this means we want to determine people who are likely to buy a bike, but also I want together on this determination, on this prediction, I want to see their name, first name, last name, their age, and their location. Okay, so it is very important. Okay, let me see if I can add an email here, if it is there. Email address here. No, not here. Some email address. Okay, where is email address? There. Okay, save. Now, after doing this, okay, the next step is to, on top here, let me try it and see results. Now, this result, this here, is the table which shows customers who have high probability, and we have probability here, okay, with probability here on the left, of purchasing a bike in the future. Okay, so this here is our table, and again in the table we know their first name, their last name, their age calculated from their date of birth, their address, and their email address. Okay, so what it means is we can now take this email address and email them about how many bikes and how nice bikes we have. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to click save, and I'm going to save this in the database, which I specified in the data source previously in the video number 1, and I'm going to call this table wanunuzi wa baiskeli. Okay, and I'm going to overwrite if this database already exists. Okay, and I click save. Okay, I hope it is saved. Now to check if it has been saved, I will go to the database. Okay, I'll open SQL Server Management Studio, and then from SQL Server Management Studio, come on, open. It is opening. Okay, I will log into database engine, connect, and then I'll go to databases. I'll open AdventureX DW, and I'll find a table called wanunuzi. Oh, there it is. Wanunuzi wa baiskeli. So this table was not there before, but this table is the result of your data mining and predictive features. And I'm going to select the top 1000 rows. Okay. So it means that now you, as the data miner, okay, from IT department, you can take this table and you can collect this information here, and you can give it to the marketing people. And then they will use this address and email address to email these people and promote the bike department in their shop. Okay. So to summarize what we did, okay, we started by stating the problem. Okay, the problem or the task was to create the table which will have a prospective bike buyer from historical data. And from there we created a project. We defined data source, view. We defined the mining structure, okay, mining structure, and from mining structure we chose which were the predictable column, which were the input column, and which were the interesting attributes. And then from there, we created mining models. After there were 3 of them, we tested them. Actually, we looked on how they behave. Okay, and from how they behave, we went and we actually selected the best mining model, which was decision tree. I hope you remember, yeah, decision tree. And in doing that, we used the lift chart mechanism. And after knowing which was the best, and we found out decision tree was best, and then we used the model prediction to predict the likelihood of people, the future customers, in purchasing a bike, and the output was a table which we saved it in our existing database. I hope this basic tutorial gave you an insight of how data mining works and what data mining is. I hope to find more time so that I can prepare more videos, especially on market basket analysis, and more comprehensive and more complex data mining. And I hope we'll find time so that you can see how we can do the proper data mining from choosing source data, multiple source data, data cleansing, data preparation, up to the stage where we have our own models. So thank you very much for watching, and I hope these 3 videos help you to better understand data mining. I'm wishing you best wishes in your exams, and I hope you do well.